State Representative Carl Wimmer says he wants to take a 2x4 to Washington, D.C. and clean up that town. He's announced his candidacy for the newly created 4th congressional seat in July. He's been busy building support ever since. Carl Wimmer, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
How's your campaign going, and how's the money fundraising going is more importantly, perhaps?
Things are going exceptionally well. The response from the grassroots individuals, the citizens, the everyday working person, the response has been magnificent. And really, they're the ones that have been helping to fund this campaign. I'm just like them. I'm a middle-class, blue-collar worker, and that resonates with the people. So far I've raised about $180,000 from over 400 different donors. These are individual citizens who have jumped on the cause, and things are going very well.
What are the things that you're talking about that are hitting home with some of these people that you're talking to, the feedback you're getting from those donors?
The fact that this generation stands on the precipice of being the first to leave to its children a less prosperous nation than the one we inherited. Truly, the American dream is slipping through the fingers of the middle-class, everyday person. And it's not because of anything they have done. It's because of decisions by bureaucrats in Washington, D.C. The out-of-control spending, the out-of-control debt and deficits, those things are hurting our families, and it's hurting us right at the kitchen table.
Well, we've got some good representatives that you've been friends with for a while, that have been in office for a while. What are they doing wrong? How would you add to their efforts to turn this ship around? If they can't do it, what makes you think that you can, I guess is what I'm asking.
They need backup. They need backup. I have a history in the state legislature of leading on fiscal conservative causes, on just leading on the causes that say, you know what, let's get government shrunk down. Let's not have it influence and interfere in everyday lives of mothers and fathers and of the people that are out working. Let's get government within its proper role. I've led those issues in Utah. I can go back to Washington, D.C. and add my voice, my very loud voice, to the people who are pushing for a balanced budget amendment, that are pushing to stop the crony capitalism and the corruption that's occurring in Washington, D.C.
Well, you're focusing on economic issues right now, but when you're in the legislature, you are also focusing on some social issues. You led the cause about the Defense of Marriage Act. You've taken on abortion in kind of a roundabout way, the battery, I can't remember the specific name for it, but sure, beating the woman who was beaten to attempt to abort her fetus. Yeah. So what about social issues? Are you less inclined to take those on in Congress and deal purely with finances and financing, you think?
No, of course not. I'm conservative across the board. I have led on the right to life issues here in the state. I've led on the pro-Second Amendment issues, the 10th Amendment state sovereignty issues. But right now, the most critical issue is the economy. If we don't get the economy right, nothing else matters right now.
How fundamental of a difference would you say that your conservative views are with some of the less conservative views in Washington that you don't think are working?
Well, one thing's for certain, I wouldn't vote to increase the debt ceiling. I wouldn't vote to continue to kick the can down the road, and I would vote to pass a balanced budget amendment right now. Those things need to happen because the decisions that are being made by bureaucrats in Washington, D.C., they don't just affect them. They affect our mothers and our fathers. They affect our families, the people right at the dinner table. It hurts them right in their own homes.
Now, you've got a colleague from the legislature, Stephen Sandstrom, who led the charge on immigration issues. Also a member of the Patrick Henry caucus, right?
Yes, he is.
You guys are friends. Can you remain friends as you continue to run against each other?
If I have anything to say with it, absolutely. I will run a positive campaign on the issues. I'll run on my record of being a 100% fiscal conservative, having never voted to increase taxes, and also being a social conservative.
But how do you differ from him, would you say?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I'm just not focused on any of the differences with our opponents. There are differences, but those things they'll come out in the natural course of time. Right now, I'm just focused on turning the economy around, getting people back to work, helping so that the government gets out of the lives of citizens. Let them produce and create jobs themselves.
So you've had a background in law enforcement.
Yeah.
You were a power lifter.
Yeah.
How do those things assist you, would you say, as you've held public office? Because you're shifting gears in a big way when you take on politics.
No doubt about it. When I entered into politics 6 years ago, I was a SWAT team commander. I had been a SWAT team commander, I should say, and I was a police officer. I'd been a canine officer. I'd been a DARE officer. That was the best part of my career, teaching kids to resist drugs. Politics was a little bit different. but we've been very successful. And I intend on taking that success, that record of success, to Washington, D.C. Being a police officer has helped me in a couple ways. Number one, I'm a middle-class American. The things that affect the average Utahn affects me and my wife. The things that financially that affect middle-class America, they affect me.
But you retired from the police force and you've taken on the legislature. Now you're running for Congress. Are you becoming a career politician now? It seems like you're putting all your eggs in that basket.
No, absolutely not. No. Matter of fact, if I'm not elected, that's something that I'm very comfortable with, and I'll continue on in my job. I don't have to be in politics, but right now I feel like I need to be there in this fight, helping to secure the blessings of liberty for my children, our posterity, and the people of this state.
You take on a lot of criticism, a lot of hits when you're in public office. Your family prepared for that? Did you have that talk with them?
I have. My family is so supportive. I would never do this without the support of my beautiful wife Sherry, and our kids. We're 100% into this. They're very supportive, and it's we're moving forward.
Okay, very good. Well, good luck to you and your efforts. We'll be covering it. You and Representative Stephen Sandstrom running against each other for the newly formed 4th Congressional District. I don't really know if there's a Democrat running yet. We'll have to check on that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Representative Wimmer. Shifting gears a bit when we come back, unique art and the chance to benefit multiple charities. After the break, we'll tell you about the Charity Lift event this weekend at the Canyons Resort.